3. Rafe. Rafe Carlson woke seconds before his alarm sounded. He shut it off, rolled over to where Nadia slept, and kissed her on the cheek. "Let me sleep," she mumbled into the darkness. "You can sleep while I shower." He slipped out of bed and walked into the ensuite bathroom, which the former owner had put in as an addition, along with a nice walk-in closet. He turned on the water for his shower, went to the bathroom, and then stepped into the navy blue and white mosaic tiled stand-up he and his father had built a few years after Rafe and Nadia bought the craftsman-style home. They'd kept most of the old charm and character of the home and changed only the kitchen, modernizing it with brand-new appliances, granite countertops, and white subway tiles. Rafe and Nadia had fallen in love with the exposed ceiling beams, the extensive built-ins, the large windows, and the spacious porch with its thick, tapered columns. Rafe stood under the hot spray and worked the muscles in his shoulder while he imagined the road course he'd run many times prior to this morning. This year, he was going to win. None of this coming in second or third shit. This was his year. The Commonwealth Cup started 100 years ago, when two townies got into an argument over the location of Heartbreak Hill. According to the map, and every Bostonian, the famed hill was in the town of Newton. Some of the questionable folks who didn't know their heads from their said it was on the outskirts of the city. No such thing when it comes to Boston. You're either within city limits or you're not. Newton was not. Instead of a good old fistfight, they decided to race each other uphill for a half-mile. When they both crossed the made-up finish line, they kept going, running along Commonwealth Avenue, past Boston University, and across the bridge, then continuing along the Charles River until they reached Harvard Square, where they both collapsed from exhaustion. Neither man declared victory, and both vowed to race again after they'd had a year of training. Thus, the Commonwealth Cup was born. Over the decades, the course had been altered to create a 10-mile road race from Newton to Harvard. At some point, the race had stopped being about two townies. It was about two communities coming together and raising funds to aid in the development of parks and recreational activities for the youth. It was about police officers earning bragging rights over their counterparts. It was about a father pushing his wheelchair-bound son across the finish line. Rafe didn't have an objective, other than winning. He loved running, but mostly he loved seeing his family along the route, cheering for him. Even if he didn't cross the finish line first, he'd have his daughters, Gemma and Linnea, there at the end, telling him how proud they were of him. Still, he wanted to win. He wanted the cup to sit proudly on his desk and to have his new clients ask him about it. Doing so would give him an opportunity to encourage them to not only invest their money with his firm, but also give back to their community. He got out of the shower, dried off, and dressed in a pair of running shorts with compression shorts built in, a long-sleeve moisture-wicking shirt and socks, and his favorite brand of running shoes, which were fairly new and perfectly broken in. When he came out of the bathroom, he found their bed empty, but could hear laughter coming from downstairs. As soon as he entered the hallway, he smelled bacon, eggs, and coffee. His stomach growled. On most mornings when he'd come downstairs to greet his daughters, he'd find chaos. Mornings were hectic, with him trying to get to work, and Nadia trying to wrangle two rambunctious girls out the door for school before she headed off to work. When he could, he'd go in an hour late so he could stay and help his wife. Rafe entered the kitchen and made his way to the breakfast nook, which had a built-in bench that offered them prime sitting space, where he found his youngest dressed in last year's Halloween pirate costume, complete with eye patch. He just stared, unsure of how to proceed.